horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk.
Ah, yes, another day in the Trump administration and another embarrassing display by dictator Trump in the Oval Office with the whole world watching and laughing. This whole thing starts off on a serious topic and then goes right off the rails with a presidential temper tantrum, followed by a world leader making fun of Trump to his face while the whole thing goes right over Donnie Cheeto's head. It all makes my head hurt, seriously. But let's break it down. It's what I do. Right after you hit the subscribe button. I want to see our numbers get as high as Trump's cholesterol. Yeah. All right, so here's the thing. The White House clown car was on full display today as Elon Musk joined various other staffers and a whole bunch of reporters in the Oval Office for a meeting, one that should be a serious one, between Trump and South African President Ramaphosa. Things started off friendly enough until an actual reporter, Peter Alexander from NBC, had the crazy idea to ask a relevant question about why white refugees from South Africa were admitted into America while refugees, the non-white kind, from other countries have been barred.
Here, can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked?
Now, this is a legitimate question that everyone has been wondering about. But instead of giving it a serious answer, Trump dipped into the authoritarian playbook and tried to discredit the person asking the question.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements.
Now, let's just forget about the fact that Trump used to work for NBC himself. In fact, the success of The Apprentice might be the reason that we're all forced to endure this orange orangutan on a daily basis. But that ship has sailed and we're all stranded on Dumbass Island, so let's move on. Now, that question from Peter Alexander set Trump up to get to his real agenda for this meeting, to accuse the South African government of committing white genocide. So the White House then played a series of clips from South Africans talking about random things like cutting the throats of white people. President Ramaphosa denounced it all, said it was absolutely not a government-sanctioned policy, and that there is literally no data to support any kind of genocide happening there against white people. Let's be honest, the only white people from South Africa that are the target of global hatred would be Elon Musk. And since that whole topic fell flat, Trump took some more questions from reporters, and Peter Alexander had the nerve to ask this question about a breaking news story going on right now. And by the way, be sure to watch how uncomfortable South African President Ramaphosa is during this little rant.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You got to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing. They also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead.
I mean, seriously, that reminds me of the stereotypical abusive dad that comes home from a bad day at the office and takes it all out on the wife and kids. And maybe Trump has no other choice but to lash out at reporters, since his actual wife is nowhere to be found. But Donnie Dorco wasn't done acting like a man-child, and I'm being generous even calling him a man.
The fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force?
And again, the South African president looks so uncomfortable here, and he does what a lot of people would do in an awkward moment. He makes a joke. And let me tell you, this is one hell of a zinger.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I take it. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay.
Ouch. Somebody tell Trump to look up, because that joke just went right over his head. That was honestly a very sharp dig at Trump, and he was completely oblivious to it. President Ramaphosa was making the very valid point that if any world leader wants to get Trump on their side, you just need to bribe him. But since South Africa doesn't have a $400 million jet to donate, he was dumb enough to fly to Washington, D.C. and try to use logic and facts to convince Trump to back off these genocide claims. And of course, he had no luck. Maybe he should have offered to make Africa the 51st state. So yet again, Trump is the butt of the joke, and all of America is made to look like a fool because some of you, not anyone watching this video, decided to vote for that clown. And let's not miss the other headline that got slipped in here. The Pentagon has officially accepted that bribe. I mean, that jet from Qatar. Something that even Republicans have expressed very valid concerns over.
With the Qatari aircraft, I think there are national security concerns. I think there are financial concerns about breaking this thing down to the studs and building it back up. And then it's not hard to imagine why some people have some ethical concerns as well.
Ethical concerns is an understatement. But since Trump has no ethics, I guess there's nothing to be concerned about. Like, comment, and let us know your thoughts about all of this below. I'm Steve Harness from the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, available everywhere for Really American Media.